Hello. In this video, I'm going to teach you the basic things you need to learn to start using Excel. Okay, so I've just clicked on this icon to open up my Excel. Right, so once you click on the icon, Excel icon, you come up with, you see different templates that has been preloaded and pre-made by Excel. So you can go into any of these. If anyone interests you, you can go into that, and they've been made already. They are divided into different categories: business, personal, calculator, anything like that. Okay, so start with the blank workbook for you to get your hands dirty, get your hands onto learning Excel properly. Okay, so now I'm just going to click on blank workbook so we can work on a spreadsheet from the scratch. So I've just clicked on that, and this is our spreadsheet. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you about the layout and structure in Excel, okay, in the spreadsheet. So on the top, there is, yes, home, insert, draw, page layout, formulas, data, and so on. So this line at the top is called the tabs in Excel, tabs, okay? So this is the home tab, insert tab, draw tabs, and so on, okay? So under each tab, you see different subsection. There is subsection under each tab, so that is called the ribbon. So under the home tab, okay, so this is the ribbon. This is the ribbon, and the ribbons are divided into groups, right? So, and the groups are also named. You can also see the names underneath. So this group, this is the clipboard ribbon, this is the font ribbon, alignment, okay, this is the alignment group, and all that. So it's divided into groups. Okay, so same thing. If you click on the insert tab, you see the different groups: the table groups, illustration, add-ins, charts, and all that. Okay, right. So now we'll talk about yeah, still talking about the structure of Excel. Excel is made up of rows and columns. Okay, so we can see that the rows is the row in Excel is depicted by numbers. Okay, from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, while the columns are identified by alphabets: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. Okay, so again, I'll tell you about cells in Excel. So cells is the intersection between a column and a row. All right, so this is column D and this is row 5. So where the column and the row meets, okay, so it's called a cell. Right, so and of course Excel is the spreadsheet is made up of cells, different cells. Okay, so this particular cell is cell D5. All right, and it's called cell D5 because that is the intersection between column D and row 5, hence the name D5. Okay, and if you look to the top left corner, there is a name box. Okay, so if I click on this cell, this is cell E5. So if you look up here, you see the name, cell E5. Okay, so in subsequent videos, I'll be showing you how to rename the cells. You can also rename cells in Excel. Okay, but I will talk about that in subsequent videos. Right, so the next thing I'll talk about now is range. Okay, so the range, it's a group of cells that are joined together. That is a range. So I'll show you an example. This is cell D5. Okay, so if I highlight this part of the spreadsheet, so that's cell D5 to F11. Okay, this is range. Okay, so because the range consists of so many cells that are closely joined together. So this is a range. So, and how do you depict that, or how do you write that in Excel? So to write that in Excel, you type D5 through. So to write through, you write that, you indicate that with a colon. So cell D5 through F11. Okay. So if you see this is a range, cell D5 to F11. That is the range in Excel. Okay. Then also so if you scroll down, if you go down to the bottom of the screen, you see sheet one. So you can open as many sheets as you want. Okay, so this is sheet one. If I click on this plus icon, it opens up another sheet. So that's sheet two. If I click on it again, it gives me sheet three and so on. Okay, so I have three sheets right now. Okay, I have three sheets, sheet one, sheet two, sheet three. So the combination of all these sheets is called a workbook. All right, it's called a workbook. Right. Okay, so that's just the background information that you need to start using Excel. Right. So first, okay, number one, we are just going to create an employee list. Okay, so we're just going to put it into practice how to how to enter data in our spreadsheet. Okay, so first of all, we'll create employee list. Okay, so you can see that what I've typed, I've just spilled over to the the next cell. Okay, but not to worry. Okay, so it's still in cell A1 and not in B1. Okay, so to confirm that, you can see I can still type something in cell B1. Okay, and what I have here still exists. That's employee list. Right. So to do that, okay, it's always very nice to to expand your columns, your cells, to accommodate the content of the cell. All right, so we'll do that shortly. So we'll go to the next cell. All right, so from A1, from cell A1, if you press on enter on your keyboard, enter goes, it shifts down. Okay, the cursor will go down. Enter, enter, enter. Okay, so it's good to and very handy as well to know some Excel shortcuts. I would also be teaching you about a lot of Excel shortcuts because it makes your work faster. Okay, so while enter shifts your cursor down the column, if you press shift enter, it returns it to the previous cell. Okay, so I'll say that again. If you press enter, your cursor goes down the column. However, if you press shift and enter, it returns it to the previous cell. Okay, in the same vein, if you press tab, okay, your cursor move sideways. Okay, it goes to the right. Okay, and what if you want to go back to the left? And your guess is as good as mine. So you press shift, then tab, then it goes up. All right. Yeah, so that's that about that. So now we're just going to create employee list. Let's say you're an admin officer or HR in an organization, and you need to create a list of employees. All right, so we'll do that now. Employee. So first of all, I mean the first column will be employee ID. Okay, so to move to the next cell on the right, I just press on the tab button. Okay, so I can type employee name, employee name. All right, then tab again to move shift the cursor to the next cell on the right. Department. tab again to shift my cursor to the next cell on the right. Employment, employment date, tab again, salary. Okay, so if I press enter, it's, let's see what happens if I press enter. So it returns it, shift the cursor downwards, okay, down the column. All right, so we can see that the content of each cell, they are they are not, we can't see them properly in this cell. We can only see employee, whereas I've typed employee name here. Department is not fully showing, and also employment date is not fully showing. So I want to tell you, just teach you some tips on how to expand your column. Okay, so first of all, you click on, there are so many ways to do different same thing, so many ways to do the same thing in Excel. I'll try as much as possible to teach you different methods, and you can pick the one that suits you the most. Right, so you can click on the column A. Okay, hold it down. Okay, so the first one, the first method. So if you shift your cursor to the line in between column A and column B, so while shifting it, you can see that the cursor just turned into, let me try and zoom that in so you can see properly. Okay, so if you move your cursor over your cursor around the boundary between column A and B, you can see that the cursor has changed to a cross with a double-sided arrow. Okay, so if you click on that, hold that down and drag. Okay, and drag. Okay, so can you see we've expanded the column? Okay, and that's for column A, right? So you can also do the same for all the columns if you want. So you can do the same thing for all the columns. Okay, again, you can click on column A, drag it to the last one, and drag the last one. Okay, so it expands all the columns at the same time with equal width, right? So I'll do that again. Okay, I'll do that again. So if you highlight all the columns, then you click on the last one, the last boundary, the end of the table, and you expand it. It expands all the columns. Yeah. So I'll try again. I'll do something else. Okay. Um, let's do another style. Right. So what if I want to expand column A, B, and E? I don't want to expand column C and D. What do I do? Okay. So I want to expand column A, B, and E. What you need to do is to click on the columns you want to, click on the first one, press your control key, click on the second one, then the ones you don't want to expand, you skip it, then you click on the last one. Okay, then from there you can do the same, or the boundary, hold it and drag. Okay, right, so can you see that this only expanded column A, B, and E, right? Okay, so that's that about that. But in this case, I would love to expand all all the columns. Okay, right. So right now, I just want to fill up fill up the employee list with some details. Okay, so let's say employee ID 001. Okay, so like I said, tab button moves the cursor to the next cell on the right. Okay, so let's say the employee name for our first style is John Doe. Okay, then tab again, it moves the cursor to the next cell on the right. So department IT, okay, then tab again, employment date, let's say 01/01/2025. Okay, then tab again. What is the salary? Let's say salary is 30,000. Okay, so you can press the enter button to move the cursor to the next cell. So I want you to pause this video right now. Pause this video right now and fill up fill up the table with some names. Okay, so I'm just going to pause this video. Give me a second. Just going to pause this video right now and fill up the employee list table with the list of staff. Been able to populate um, the employee list. So this is an example of data entry in Excel. Right. So if you look at cell C2, you can see there is a typographical error, okay, that I've done intentionally. So I just want to explain how you can correct your entry in Excel. Okay, so if you click on the cell and you type anything, if you just click on the cell and you type anything, whatever you type would erase what you've typed in before. Okay, so if you click on it, whatever you type after that will erase everything. But to correct the entry inside of it, you need to click in it. So to do that, you need to double click it. So let's try it. So I've just clicked on it right now. So if I type anything, can you see it erases completely what I have in there before now? Okay, but I don't want this to stay there. I just press the escape button. Right. So to correct this, I need to click in the cell, not on it. So to click in the cell, I have to double click it. So once you double click in the cell, you can use your arrow key to go to move left and right, okay, to where the error is. Then you can correct it. Once you correct it, you press enter on your keyboard. Okay, so now we're just going to make our our employee list, our table, make it look nice. Okay, so before then you can see so in Excel this is text, okay, and this is a number. Okay, that is the data type. Number, if you can if you observe, all the numbers, they align to the left, I mean to the right by default. They align to the right side of the cell by default, and the text would align to the left by default. Okay, so right now we're just going to make it look nice. So this is the title, so let's make it stand out, so you can make it bold. Is either you click on this button, or I love shortcut a lot. You can just do Control B on your keyboard. So that's the shortcut to to bolding a text, to make a text bold in Excel. Control B. Okay, so you can also do anything. You can underline it if you want to. That's it. So so to just make it stand out, to look like the main heading, we're just going to highlight highlight the cells across, okay, from cell A1, B1, C1, and all that. So what we want to do is to make this name, the name of the list, be at the center. Okay, so we just want to collapse the walls between all these cells. Okay, and one way to do that, we'll do that by selecting all the cells, and clicking on this button. It says merge and center. So once you click on it, it merges all the cells you've highlighted, and it will put your text at the center. Okay, so I'll click on it now. Can you see? Now it has merged all the cells and put our text at the center. So again, So instead of going, clicking on the first cell and, highlighting straight to the right. So what if we have a very, a longer table? So you can just click on the row number. So once you click on the row number, it highlights all the rows. It highlights all the cells in that row. Okay, then you can make your, make your changes. And whatever change you make right now applies to all of this. Okay, so if you make it bold again, or you make it italic, you increase the font, or you increase it or you decrease it, so it applies to everything. Okay, so let's increase this a bit. Yeah, right. And for this, you can also fill it. Yeah, you can fill it, like you can fill the cell. Yeah, you can fill it with any color you want. You can fill it, employee list, anything, right? You can fill it that way. And this as well, you can so this, so I wouldn't want to fill this, so we'll just type, just select no fill, and it removes all the all the fill. Okay, so the same thing applicable to this. You can fill as well if you want. You can fill it if you want. So you can make maybe a tick outside border. Okay, you can format your table anyhow you want it. Tick outside border, or you can have a border all through. Or if you don't want it, you can select no border. Okay, it all depends on what you want. Okay, so you can also format this because this is salary, so this salary column, so it's currency. You can also format it. So the same way you can click a row number to effect changes on all the cells, you can also click on the column heading as well, and your changes would affect all the cells. So let's, for example, this is salaries. This is a figure. So let's make it in, let's do currency. Okay, so can you see? Once you click on the column and you make any changes, it affects all the cells in the column. Okay, so we have been able to create our first table in Excel. So I hope you're now familiar with, we talked about the tabs, the ribbons, the groups in Excel. Okay, so I know by now you're now familiar with how to expand each columns. So the same way you can expand the columns by dragging left and right, you can also expand your row as well. Okay, you can expand your row, okay, to suit your usage or your requirements. Okay, yeah, so that's it. In future videos we will also cover some tips and tricks, and we will also get to formulas and functions in Excel. Please watch out. Thank you.